Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Quick transparency. This is my fifth take on trying to make this possible. This ad before the video that you are wanting to watch right now, so I won't take up too much of your time. I just wanted to express how I made this all possible. I created the Paso Robles podcast studio for people to be able to use as an outlet, as a platform. This show became possible because I found the need to put myself in the hot seat and have those conversations with people and promote them as well. So if you guys ever find yourselves in a need to start a podcast, I'm here to consult. I'm here to produce. Feel free to reach out, easyfmedia@gmail.com, or find me on social media anywhere pretty much. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. I don't want to keep rambling on too much. Thank you guys for watching. All right, we're here at the Paso Robles podcast. Today I have, and I'm only going to say Ash as your name because I'm sure a lot of people
they know me by Ash.
Know me by Ash, but you can introduce yourself however you want.
Sure.
I'll give the floor to you. You can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do, and we can go from there.
Yeah. So this is Ash. I'm the owner of El Pollo Loco in Paso, and the Sonic that we just opened in Atascadero. We also have an El Pollo Loco in San Luis Obispo next to Target. Another Pollo in Ventura County, and then we own a Sonic, which is all the way in next to Coachella.
Next to Coachella,
Yeah,
that is a really good spot to be in. Then
when there's Coachella,
when there's Coachella,
yeah. Otherwise, like it's hot.
Yeah,
like right now they're over 100, 105 already. It will go up to like 125.
When does Coachella happen?
I think it's April, if I'm not wrong.
April. Oh, so it just
already
happened.
It
Okay,
happened.
yeah. So to make it, how many places that you run or operate?
Currently, 6.
6.
We have 2 in construction.
2 in construction. How do you select the locations? Because one of the big ones that pop in my head when you say in Atascadero, I actually went to drive through at Sonic in Atascadero because my kids wanted to try the slushies, and that's probably the number one thing for you guys. Right next to In-N-Out.
Correct.
Now, I lived in Lemoore between 2012 and 2016. There's a Sonic over there, and an In-N-Out opened right next door. And every time I would drive by, line for In-N-Out, no line for Sonic. So how did you guys decide to do that in Atascadero?
Well, I think it's a very good location because it's right next to the freeway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that, brings us the traffic from the freeways easy in, easy out. Mm-hmm. When it comes to burgers, you really can't compete with In-N-Out.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that for quality, but I think it's for pricing point. Their price point is very low. Their menu is very limited. They have hand-cut fries, right? So when it comes to burger, you cannot compete with them. But when it comes to everything else, which means your sides, milkshakes, slushies, blast, onion rings, all that other stuff, you cannot compete with Sonic.
Yeah.
So we do have people sometimes they'll go to In-N-Out
For the burger.
And but then they'll come back. And drinks have more profits than burger.
Oh, yeah.
So we're fine with it.
Yeah.
We'll take it any day. Our weekends are crazy busy. We have a lot of freeway traffic. So yeah, I mean, we do a little bit of research before we go in.
Of course.
Try to, we want to tick all the boxes that you need to have, foot traffic. You need to have, visibility and everything. But at the end of the day, every time you do any new business, it's always a risk. There's always a risk factor.
Yeah. There's always that unknown when you first start.
Correct.
Even though, yeah. So that was my selfish question to start it off with. But let's go back a little bit. When I met you, or at least I found out about you, you were a guest speaker at the Hispanic Business Association.
Correct.
And the list you went down, right when you started talking, I was like, this guy I need to talk to and figure out why and how and what motivates you. Like all the questions: who, what, where, when, why. And one of the big things that like a lot of people found interesting about you is the switch in career. So talk a little bit about that. Like, where were you before, and when did you make the jump, and what made you make the jump?
So I came to the country when I was 18 and a half, which was year 2000.
Okay.
I came in for studies, and the goal was I'm going to be here, do my studies, and go back. So while I was doing my studies, I came across an opportunity where they're like, "Hey, you want to come and work for us?" It was a carnicería,
Okay.
meat market,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, "Yeah, I need money to, pay for my studies."
Yeah.
So I started working, and all of a sudden I realized I was putting in 70, 80, 85 hours a week, and that's 12, 13, 14-hour shifts. Go home, study, sleep 4, 5, 6 hours, wake up. And so that was about a year and a half every single day, 7 days a week.
Oh wow.
There's no day off because you got to grind it. And I'm not the person who work paycheck to paycheck. I'm not one of those guys who's going to make my money and then Friday and then I go clubbing or I go casino or I go and spend my money. No. The goal was very simple. I'm young. You can put in the work right now. You have the energy. You have everything. Save your money. Be good. And do bigger in future. You can work right now, but then I wanted, a vision that 10 years from now or, 15 years from now or whenever I keep saving money, I want to do something of my own. I don't want to work for nobody.
Right.
And that was you can say, the fire, the motivation, that kept you going. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going.
This episode is sponsored by Lion Pro Flooring. Give new life to your floors with beautiful, professionally installed flooring. Whether it's hardwood, luxury vinyl, or carpet, your home deserves a quality you can feel and craftsmanship you can trust. Serving Paso Robles in all of SLO County, Lion Pro Flooring is your local expert in transforming spaces. Call or text 805-712-3710 for a free estimate today. That's 805-712-3710. Lion Pro Flooring, when quality matters. Did you have that mindset before you moved here to the States, or did you already kind of feel it and then you got here and
I
it was
had it in a way
Okay.
that I wanted to, do something of my own.
Right.
But when I came here, when I look around, I saw like it was not a piece of cake, to
Yeah.
be 18 and a half, come in here, you don't know anything about the country, and I was very young, basically, when I came here. So first, it took me time to, adapt. Even the weather, the food, as in I couldn't digest the food for my first 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to get used to everything. But then, yeah, I had that thing that, I'm going to do something. I'm not going to just work,
Right.
10, 15 hours a day and get killed all my life. I'm going to do it right now, till I can do something.
Yeah.
So that kept me going. We hit the recession in 2008. That's when things kind of at work also start to, go down.
Still at the Carnicería, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the best part about the Carnicería was I learned 2 languages at the same time by working there.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
one, of course, was Spanish because I was with, you call them my compas, all day, right? Because
Yeah.
we all were putting in 12, 13, 14 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
So it was like we're together there as a family, then they are with their family because they're only going home for like 6, 7 hours, and
Yeah.
then we're here together 14 hours, right?
Yeah.
So once in a week or twice, I used to go to my carnicero. I used to go to his place and he would have like a carne asada, right? So it would be like 10, 15, 20, Hispanic Mexicans there. I'm the only Indian, right? But they all felt good. I felt good because I could relate. I could speak. I knew the culture.
Yeah.
And that was a point when I was like, I started to getting to know more about Mexican culture, the heritage. I get to know what do you eat, what do you drink, at what point you drink what, right?
When do you bust out the tequila? Yeah.
Yes, what kind of tequila you gonna do, right? So if you're like I would say more of like an average middle class, you're gonna drink this tequila. You
Yeah.
go beyond, you're gonna start drinking this tequila, right? What kind of meat are we gonna be cooking at carne asada, right? It's not always gonna be ranchera, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time it will be like other cuts like Dios mío, all that other stuff, right? Chuletas de puerco, all that good
Yeah.
stuff, right? So I was actually kind of living among Mexicans for so long, and then I get to hear stories. Then you understand everybody has a story to tell, right? You're not the only one. I mean, your story is very, I would say, common, easy. If you look at what they have done, how they crossed from a coyote and all that, things 20 years ago were very different and very dangerous also, not like now.
Right.
So I've heard stories of a lot of people. I met people who were actually doing all that stuff, right? I actually went to some really bad parts of Tijuana with some people because they were going to go and get some people to cross, which of course I was not part of it, but
Yeah.
I saw where they lived.
Yeah.
It was not like even a proper roof on top of the head, right?
Yeah.
And that's just gave me kind of a respect, right? That they're good people, right? They're here. They come here for a better future, better opportunity, that's why it's called the country of immigrants, right? So I learned in Spanish. The people who I used to work for, they were Indian also, but they were from a different state.
Okay.
So they speak a totally different language. So I learned that language too, because I was working with them. And at the same time, I learned Spanish.
Spanish. Yeah.
I love reading. I used to read 3 newspapers, point A to C, from every single page of it, every single day, 3 newspaper. One of them was in Spanish.
Okay.
So that's where I learned more.
Yeah.
I can write Spanish, I can read Spanish now. And it was all self-taught. So then I was like, okay, this is how you're pronouncing it, but you know how you're pronouncing venga aquí. I thought before it was like with a V. But then when I started reading it, I was like, it's not a V. It just sounds like a V, but it's like a B. It's like benga, right?
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And kept going, comes 2008, and we hit the recession. And now we're like, okay, what are we going to do? So we had Frito-Lay, which is a chips company.
Yeah.
The guy used to come in and like, hey, we're hiring. I was like, okay. So I jumped in. They pay well.
Yeah.
It was less in salary, but there was a lot of commission on the chips.
This episode is brought to you by Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street. Craving something delicious in Paso Robles? Red Scooter Deli on 6th Street has you covered. Enjoy tasty sandwiches, fresh salads, and smoothies like the Banana Nut Blast, my personal favorite. Kick back on the covered patio, sip on a cold beer and wine, and enjoy the easy parking. Order online for pickup or dine-in. And here's a treat. Use promo code PODCAST for $5 off your next order. That's PODCAST for $5 off your next order. Open daily from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Red Scooter Deli. Local flavor, fast and fresh. Is this pre-hot Cheeto?
Is post-hot Cheetos.
Post-hot Cheeto, okay.
Yeah. So I jumped in. The worst decision of my life. They kill you, man.
Yeah.
So you do three people's job. You are the driver, you're the merchandiser, and then you're the salesman. You do all three. And my shift started at 1 a.m. every morning.
Wow.
And this was like about 15 minutes to 55 minutes from my house. So I used to drive. I have to leave my house by like 12 a.m. There's no time to come back is when you finish. So it could be 14 hours, 15 hours. And so I lasted there for about a year. And then I started doubting myself. It's like, okay, what are you doing? You know, I mean, I had that much of self-confidence. Like, look, you went to school, you have a degree, you speak 4 languages, right? You're a smart kid, you know. I'm not saying driving truck is a bad job.
Right.
Everybody has a job, so there's nothing wrong about it. But that's the job that I didn't want, and it was not meant for me. It was more on a lot of physical labor kind of stuff, intensive that you were doing. Like you're sitting on your knees like for so long, right? And I was like, this job is not for me. This is not how I was here. So I had an incident that I was going to work, and I think I drove 8 or 10 miles, and then my car started to make this noise, and it was like around 2 or 3 in the morning. I was late that day. So I parked on the side of the freeway, and I tried to turn it on. It was making this huge noise. So it was kind of like my engine gave up because it was leaking oil. So there was no oil in it. So it's kind of like, jammed. So I called my boss. He didn't answer, so I called his boss. And I said, look, this is what happened. There's nothing I can do. I live out of here. There's no cabs or anything that I can even make to work. He was like, no, it's fine. Just don't worry about it. Just go home safe. Okay.
Yeah.
You drive 10 miles, and it's like barely, 10 minutes? So you're like, I just drove 10 minutes, right? I can walk back. So I'm like, okay.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? And it was on the side of the freeway, and you could hear the coyotes, and, I was like, I'll just walk home. It's right here. I can see the lights.
Yeah.
So I started walking, and you just keep walking, and you keep walking. And I was like, the lights are there, but...
Yeah.
And the road that was there was not straight. It was more of like up and down, So, and I was wearing work shoes. Those shoes itself was at least 2 to 3 pounds each shoes, because they have the metal toe shoes.
Oh, steel toe, yeah.
Yes, right? So you don't get hurt, right? So those are not walking shoes. I think I walked like 5, 6, 7 hours straight. It was that far.
Oh my God.
It was 10 miles.
Huh.
And finally I got home. And my parents were home at that time. So like, what happened? I was like, the car broke down on this, and I'm super tired. I just need some water, and I want to knock out. As I'm trying to sleep, my boss called me. And where are you? How come you didn't make it to work? I was like, I called you. I left you a message. There's nothing I could do. I just got home. Okay, get ready. I'm going to come pick you up. It's like, boss, I just walk.
Yeah.
7 hours or so. And he's like, well, you don't come in, there will be consequences. And I was like, fine, I'll take the consequences, but I cannot come to work. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I hung up. I called his boss again, and I said, remember, I called you in the morning. Now he's threatening me, stuff like this. And he's like, don't worry about it. Take care of yourself and we'll talk. Okay. I went to sleep, woke up, trying to go to the restroom. I fell out of my bed. So, you're trying to get up. I couldn't get up.
You're exhausted.
One was exhausted. I had shin splits.
Oh.
So my shins wouldn't take my body weight at all because of me walking with those shoes, right?
Yeah.
And then my boss called again. That, you called my boss. This is not going to be. And I was like, you know what? I quit. I don't want to work for you guys no more. This is just, I can't take this. Done deal, do whatever you want to do. I'll take the consequences, but I'm not going to work for a company who doesn't understand the situation of your employee, right? And so, now I'm icing my, shins and everything. It's 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days, nothing. I'm still couldn't walk. So finally I called a friend. I was like, dude, we gotta go to a chiropractor or something. Because so I went in and was like, guy, you have like one of the worst shin splits that I've ever seen. So he gave us that shock therapy to, relax your muscles and everything. So it took me about another good week in recovery. And after that, my boss called me from Frito-Lay again. So I went in there and I was like, nope, I'm not coming back here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to work for you guys. That's for sure.
This episode is sponsored by Del Pueblo Furniture in Paso Robles. Skip the credit card headache. Talk to Roger and get 0% in-house financing on quality furniture you'll love. Visit them at 1030 Railroad and 10th Street or call 805-239-5942. That's Del Pueblo Furniture. Comfort you want, payments you can handle. Y sí, se habla español. Just ask for Roger. Was he trying to sweeten the deal to come back?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah. Because I was one of the top performers when I was working for them. And no, we'll give you, more money. Yeah. We'll give you this whole whatever happened. I was like, no, I can file a lawsuit against you guys right now. But I'm not one of those guys. I don't do that. Yeah. I just, So called my parents. Okay, get ready. We're going to go on a vacation. Don't worry about anything right now. I don't want to think of anything right now. We'll worry about it later. While I was going on vacation, I applied at Wells Fargo, which was right across the street from where I lived. So I didn't even have to drive anywhere.
You just walked over.
And I was on vacation and I got a call that, hey, come in for an interview next week. Yeah, I can't come right now. So I went in there, had a good interview, selected. Right away, they're like, okay, we're going to make you a senior banker. I said, okay. I speak languages.
Is that normal?
No, you
get hired on as a senior banker?
No.
With no banking experience?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
The reason behind I had money with I had experience with the money because at the Carnicería, we would cash checks. Yeah. I was already very good in mathematics to count on. Right. We don't use computers or what you call it, calculators. So he saw that. He knew me that I would go in their deposits and everything. And then I speak the languages. Right? I have a degree. So it was like, this is what I can do for you. Yeah. And I said, okay. Starting 2-minute walk.
And big difference.
Yes, right? You have an hour lunch. I used to come home, have my lunch, take a 20-minute power nap, right? Charge yourself and go back. But there was a lot of sales involved with it. At that time, Wells Fargo was pushing a lot and says, I don't know if you know, but they had a big lawsuit, right?
Yeah, like the phantom accounts and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes, because they were pushing everybody. I told my boss, I was like, I love it. I know everybody in this town. So that town is very small. It's Fillmore, California. It's in Ventura County. Okay. It's like 16,000, 17,000 people. I probably know 75% of that town. And everybody know me by name. Yeah. So I would make calls, hey, you guys want this or any issue. The only person they would look into the bank is like, where's Ash? I only want to talk to him. Yeah. What happened? And then I told my boss, I was like, dude, this is too much what Wells Fargo is asking. It's like, I know, but part of the job. It's like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't
You're at
want
a
to do
crossroad
this.
again.
Came to a point when there was like pretty much impossible targets were set.
Right.
Not by him, but his seniors. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't want to do this. It was like, why don't you switch into investments? You can deal with, big clients.
Right.
And I said, sure, am I going to get paid more money? Like, of course.
Yeah.
And you're going to have big commissions if you, go
Right.
through with the deals and everything. So I said, okay, let's do that. I worked there for like about a year and a half, one of the best times I had. Everybody was like, no, it's so stressful. You got to do this. You got to do that. I was like, dude, go work at Frito-Lay. And then compare yourself.
Put things in perspective here.
Right.
Yeah.
And while I was working there, me and a known friend of mine came across some opportunity. We had a discussion before I went to him. He had other businesses before. And I went to him and was like, okay, I think I'm ready. I have enough saved up. And I'm ready to get into business. So what do you want to do? What do you think? So the very first thing that they were like, yeah, there's some gas stations around. Let's just, buy a few gas stations. But they were too expensive. I had money saved up, but not to a level to be investing in millions. So they asked me, what do you want to do? I was a Pollo Loco fan for a very long time, not even just before even we bought it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I've seen Pollo Locos. They're always busy. I love the food. I want to do something which I can be passionate about, right. Where I'm not lying to people. Mm. I can easily say Pollo chicken is the best chicken if you want to eat out because it's grilled.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not fried. It's not fast food. It's grilled. It doesn't get better than that. You have, a salad with it, avocado slices with it. It's all good food.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I would.
And if you need the carbs, get some tortillas with it. You're fine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So we look into the process. Coincidentally, same time, 10 Pollo Locos came on the market for sale. Out of nowhere. You'll never see Pollo Loco on sale.
What was the year? What was the time frame here?
It was in 2012.
2012.
So I worked 12 years
Okay,
during that time. And then in 12, they came and like, okay.
Huh.
And they were on auction.
This episode is sponsored by Santos Bros Plumbing. Are you in need of a dependable and effective plumber you can trust? Look no further than Santos Bros Plumbing, your trusted local plumbers in Paso Robles, California. Call them now at 805-360-4679. That's Santos Bros Plumbing.
We check all the restaurants. There was a couple of them in Ventura County, other places. The whole idea was not actually to come to Paso. It was somewhere to just buy where I used to live and buy something nearby so you can,
Right.
Run it and keep an eye and still be living where you were because I was comfortable. For me, Fillmore was like my second home because I knew everybody. I grew up there for 12 years, 13 years, So we had a starting point on where can we start bidding on these things. And when they started the bidding, it was already crossed that bidding mark. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This was the only location that was in our bidding point. And it was like one of the lowest sale volume location.
Okay.
And that's why it was there for cheap. And they were willing to negotiate more on the pricing also and the lease and everything. So we bid on it. And there was another guy bidding. He ended up winning the bid. And so like, okay, let's go home. So we were going halfway home. Mm-hmm. They called us that, hey, we decided to give you the restaurant instead of them because he don't have a good back record with Pollo Loco.
Oh.
So like you can have it, but you're going to have to come back and sign the paperwork today. It's like, okay. when I came in. We have not even seen the restaurant yet, and we just bought a restaurant.
And there was this Pollo Loco here
In Paso,
right?
yes.
So it was already built.
It was built in 2006.
Okay.
Yes, and this is 2012. I'm
Okay.
talking. So now I came in and I was like, dude, I don't want to move to Paso. Like, I love where I live. I don't, but I don't know. Somehow things happen in my personal life, and let's just go.
Yeah.
We'll just
All right.
take a leap of faith. Let's just go. And now I'm not a restaurant guy. I've never worked in a restaurant, so
I see a pattern here. You're not in the industry, and then you go into industry. This episode is sponsored by Western Janitor Supply. They have cleaning supplies and equipment for any workplace. Call today at 805-238-2112. They provide an extensive line of chemicals, paper products, and floor equipment. Again, that's Western Janitor Supply, located in downtown Paso Robles.
So my thing was, if I don't know something, I have that curiosity that I want to learn it, but then I want to learn it to the deepest end,
Right.
and be the best at it. I won't leave those things until, like right now, I can tell you that on Pollo, I'm the best what I do.
Right.
And it's not because of anything, it's because of all the hard works that I put in. So when I was moving here, the general manager who was here was like, Ash, I quit. I'm not going to come from tomorrow. And I'm like, give me at least 2 weeks. Give me some time. And no. So from the very first day, I moved. And now I have no idea. I started to open the restaurant at 8 a.m. to get out at 11:30 in the night. Every single day, 365 days for the whole year.
Yeah.
So I learned everything, inside, out, everything.
Did you have enough employees to kind of like pick their brain too as well? Or did you like bring people up from like you didn't find anybody to transfer?
No, I had to change the culture.
Okay.
What I see that was wrong.
Yeah.
I had to let go a lot of employees because they didn't want to come to the level that I wanted to, them to perform. Right? They were fine with doing what they were doing. They didn't want changes.
Right.
So I had to change. Coming to the cleanliness of the restaurant, the quality of the restaurant, the service of the restaurant, every single thing.
Which is interesting because like I feel like if you were going in and I knew there was a new owner, a new GM taking all the everything hands on, I'm like, oh, that's my opportunity to like be his number
Show
one.
yourself.
Yeah.
Correct, right? Prove yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not how everybody thinks.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it is everybody thinks that's an opportunity for them to cut corners.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not one of those guys. Even when I was working at the Carnicería, I made sure that Carnicería was the best out of where we were. And I did. Within me running that place for 3 years, we were almost time and a half in our sales. So I was like, okay. And then that's how the whole town get to know me.
Yeah.
Right? And I was a gangster town. And we were still good because everybody knew me
Right.
by my name. So the goal was the same here. Either you adapt, perform where I want you to, or maybe you need to get another job.
Yeah. You got to phase out. Yeah.
So eventually, I think mostly everybody left. We hired a new crew. When I learned the whole system, I had to put a new system in. Who do what at what time? So if you're coming in at 9 a.m., what are you supposed to do? They don't know. They were just like, okay, what else? So I spent hours and hours creating jobs for, okay, you come in at this time. This is exactly what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. All that good stuff took me. That is, almost 13 years now?
Yeah.
Now, we can say, I have that restaurant on auto mode. You're there and you're not there.
Right.
It's going to run the way we want to, but I'm still there. I still go there every day. I think recently I've been, working 7 days a week. Small shifts, what I do. I try, once my daughters are out of school, I try after that. I don't go to work unless I really have to.
Yeah.
Like today I will.
Well, because graduations and stuff like that, right?
Graduation, our software is changing tomorrow. It's the newer version of Micros, so it's going to Symphony Micros. So it's a completely different software. So I want to make sure we're ready for the rollout tomorrow. Everybody's familiar with it and all that. So, there's no glitch. I don't want people to come in tomorrow and nobody knows how to take order.
Yeah. That may make sense.
Yeah. So we did, we got this one. Then I'm like, the town that I used to live next to it is a pretty good opportunity. There's no Pollo Loco there. Why don't we open a Pollo Loco there? So 2014, we opened a Pollo in Santa Paula. And then we got busy running those places and figure out exactly, here also, because our sales were still low because we were still working at it. They were going up, but sales doesn't go up in a day or a year.
Right.
It takes a while. 2019, we came across opportunities, so we opened the Pollo in Slow. That took us about 2 years because there was a lot of competition for that spot. There was a lot of other interested companies, and so we had a lot of competition. So it took a while. So we opened that. And then the whole,
pandemic.
Yes.
That one little blip. No.
Yeah. So when that thing happened, and that was a very rough time, especially for restaurants. And then you're like, okay, you still have your bills to pay, employees to pay,
right,
rent to pay, loan payments to make, all that good stuff. What are we gonna do? So yeah, sleepless nights. At that time, it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna lose everything?
Well, you guys were considered essential, right? At some point,
We
I
were
think
open.
It was like a month in or something like that.
We were open, but again, there's nobody on the street.
Right. Yeah.
We had to lay off 75% of our workforce. That's something that I hate doing because they have bills to pay. But I have no choice. We couldn't afford.
Right.
Come to a point when we were like, okay, we don't have money to pay the rent. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So, but we were lucky, and that's why I say we live in the best country in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever the government did with the EIDL loans, with the PPP and all the funds that they provided, if they wouldn't, I think 99% of the businesses in the U.S. were shut down within a year.
Yeah.
So we were lucky at that time. We took, opportunities from those loans and, kept going. 2021, we came across an opportunity in Indio, California, which is the Coachella for Sonic.
Yeah.
And okay, let's try something else.
Were you familiar with Coachella before you opened it up?
I actually know.
Okay.
No. So that's the time when I get to know that there's this big festival, there, because they were getting beat up whenever Coachella was
once
there.
a year.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the time we went. We ended up buying, the Sonic.
So what made you decide from Pollo Loco to Sonic? What were the similarities that made you go, okay? But I see the pattern that you jump into it anyway, from chicken to actually.
See, what happened was Pollo was completely sold out California.
Okay.
So now you cannot do any more Pollos in California.
Okay.
At that time.
Yeah.
They wanted us to go out of state markets, which is a much bigger risk, and then how to handle, if I open something in Seattle, right? So we're like, okay, well, we want to keep growing. So if it's not with Pollo, then, I'm very loyal to Pollo. I love the brand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we cannot grow with you, doesn't mean we're not going to grow.
Right.
The goal is to grow. We're going to grow. So we came across an opportunity, and this restaurant was for sale with the whole real estate. It's a pretty big real estate. They have like 15 or 18 stalls outside. We went in, we worked out the deal, so we ended up buying it. It's like, okay. So now we went to training for Sonic in Oklahoma City for like 3 weeks straight. So we learned, how to run a Sonic.
Yeah.
But we have a general manager who runs it. Of course, I live here, so I can't, be there all the time. So that was in 2021. Came across an opportunity for the real estate of KFC in Atascadero. And we make an offer. He wanted us to lease it. We were not interested in leasing it, so we made an offer, worked out. We opened the Sonic.
Now, were you deciding to open up a Sonic there or just get the property first?
It's because, the real estate came on the market. Well, somebody reached out to us, was like, hey, I have this. Are you interested? So I'm like, okay, what are we going to do if we buy it? So I'm like, yeah, why not?
Okay.
Let's do Sonic.
Yeah.
It's right on the freeway. So everybody had that question. Are you sure? It's right across in and out.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah.
So again, when we opened there, I was there every single day, 13, 14 hours, working just like anybody else.
Yeah.
I think we had a line for miles when we opened for the first 2 months. I think there's like a 3 to 4 hour waiting. The moment you place your order to the time you come, we had a lot of backlash for that thing. What you guys are doing? And I was like, I have 18 people working outside. We can't even fit any more people in here. It's like there's no more place to move.
Yeah.
And it takes time to make 10 milkshakes at a time.
Yeah.
Your machine starts to give up because they're getting so hot, right? And then it was like the whole world at that time was coming to the Sonic. So we're like, we're trying our best.
Right.
I was literally, I'm not even lying, I was literally working on water 14 hours a day because I couldn't move to have a bite to eat.
Right.
And I was telling everybody, like,
Take a break.
Everybody take a break.
Yeah.
I'll cover yours. You go. I'll cover yours. You go. Everybody, even including, hats off to my GM at that time. She was there. She was doing the same thing, 13, 14, 15 hours every day, every single morning. We were there, open, close, open, close. The kitchen crew, on the weekends, we closed at 12 midnight. So kitchen crew was leaving at like 3 or 4 because people wouldn't let us shut down.
Yeah.
It came insane that we ran out of food. So we had to close.
Yeah, I saw that. Like you ran out of food and you're like, okay, there's nothing
we can do, right? So people were getting mad, you know? So no, I don't want anybody to complain or get mad about it. So let's just close.
Yeah.
Somehow I think there was a reporter from Fresno passing by or something, and he took pictures that Sonic closed early because they ran out of food. And then it was all over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? Right? I mean, we're doing our best. So that what I would tell the listeners, whoever is listening, right? When you open a restaurant, you are prepared to a point that you know what you're going to do. Yeah. This was 2-3 times beyond a restaurant could handle. Even the real estate there couldn't handle that many cars.
Yeah.
We had cops and fire came in multiple times
to help direct traffic. Yeah.
They wanted us to direct traffic. So I'm like, okay, but they were very nice about it.
Yeah.
It was like, we're doing our best. Just give us a few months. This is, we call in restaurant industry, we call it a honeymoon period.
Right.
2-3 months,
Yeah.
it will settle down. Everything will be fine. So, but we still have people coming in. But yes, so about a month or 2 months, I dropped like good 10 or 12 pounds because I was just working with water.
Liquid diet. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, if I get an opportunity, I will run, and I don't eat, fried food mostly. So I'm just going to live on hot dogs right now. There's nothing I can do. So I would have like one small hot dog at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You go home and they're like, man, I think I'm getting old because I'm exhausted. But then you realize you didn't sit down in the last 14 hours.
Right.
You're on your feet, So it's hard work, But again, are we ready to put it in? I am. I was.
Yeah.
I will in future also. So yeah, those, it's still a motivation. I see other people, and I was like, yeah, you're nowhere even close. You have a long way to go.
Yeah.
So you just gotta keep going.
Yeah. So one of the things that stood out when I was hearing you talk at HBA is you work a lot with schools and nonprofits. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yes. So this was, I think, when we bought it, a few years later, it's, of course, everything started with this Pollo. That's my baby. That's what I call it. And we were approached by nonprofits for like donations and charities, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I would love to. So we started helping out. The more we were helping, then we had more people coming in. And I told my assistant manager at that time, if I'm not here, it's a yes to everything. That's it. It's a simple. I just had a meeting with 5 of my GMs yesterday. My last line to them is, you don't need my approval. It's a yes to everything. That means if you're getting confused, is it a yes or no? Well, guess what?
It's a yes.
It's a yes. So there is no confusion. If somebody comes in and say, I want free food, what are you going to say? You're going to say yes.
Interesting.
Okay. If somebody comes in, they want a free drink, what are you going to do? You're going to say yes.
Yes.
There's no in my dictionary.
Interesting.
So you come to my restaurant, so somebody comes in and say, hey, I got to feed 100 people. Can I get free food? Yes. But at the same time, we're not going to be naive about it. I need a nonprofit letter.
With the tax ID and everything, yeah.
Because again, you keep doing these things, then you you do get people when people start to take advantage. It's like, I want free food. Okay, I need your nonprofit ID. Right? So it happened. Some homeless guys started coming in. And they're like, oh, we would like to donate your food that's left over in the night, at a charity. Okay, where are you from? Well, I'm from this nonprofit. Okay, can you bring me a letter? Can you bring me a nonprofit ID? Pollo Loco doesn't really want to do that because it's a huge liability.
Okay.
Somebody gets sick, something happened,
Right.
it's gonna go back to them.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing it, that means I'm responsible. So we want to make sure if we do it the right way.
Right.
Somebody reached out and said, hey, you want to sponsor Bearcats?
Yeah.
Sure. What do you guys want? Oh, we'll put your banner and this is how much we charge. Sure, there you go. And we went to Templeton, same thing. Went to Atascadero, same thing. Then through HBA, Francisco and Maria told me, like, ask, why don't you do, you guys can do sponsorships. High school kids.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll do it. So then we started with Paso, then we went to Templeton, then I asked Atascadero this year to, we were waiting that somebody was going to actually contact us for, sponsorship, but it was just a Paso. So
Yeah.
from there, it went on a trend. Words got out. Hey, you need help? Go talk to Ash.
Yeah.
They'll give it to you. the only thing I tell everybody is tell me what you want. Don't ask me what can I give. You tell me what do you want.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Do you find that they usually say a lower lower amount or lower number or lower expectation than what you like can technically officially afford?
See, my thing is I don't want me to be on the lower side because then that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll offer you this and be like, oh, that's it.
And then you see the look on their face. Okay,
Yes,
got it. So
that's
you
what I'm
want
like,
them to you
yes.
give the ball in their court.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, that way I'm not lowballing and be like, okay, I'll offer you 20 pieces. And we're like, what? And they're not going to say no, right? They'll be like, yeah, okay, we'll take it, right? But then I want you to tell me what's the plan? How many people you're feeding, right? What is it for?
Yeah.
And tell me what exactly you want. And we'll give you exactly what you want, right? So we started working with a lot of different nonprofit. Like on top of my head, I can't count, but I think it was somewhere in the range of like 70 plus.
With working with so many nonprofits now, do you have somebody in charge of that for you, or is it just you? Why you just keep impressing me, man?
It's me, my GM at the store. And most of the time, I make sure that if something is going to happen, I want to be involved.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I do want to make sure everything goes out good. We do it for Sonic also now.
Oh, okay.
And again, Sonic just sponsored Paso, Templeton, Atascadero football teams. The scholarship ceremony that we had, what was the last week in Paso?
Yeah.
Right? So the food for the donors were all supplied by Pollo for free. It was like for 40 or 50 people. We gave that out as a donation. We hand out 2 scholarships from Pollo Loco this year, and then we hand out 1 scholarship from Sonic. We hand out a lot of gift certificates, free slushies, and all that to mostly a lot of elementary schools.
Right.
We just did a fundraiser for Almanaker, right? We just did a fundraiser for them. We, again, gave them free coupons for slushies. Almanaker every year, I think till, I'm not sure if we did it this year or for school year. Every year we work with them, we provide them every month free food for 30 kids.
Okay.
So we did it for many, many years. I think I'm not sure. I haven't been reached out yet for the coming school year, but mostly we do. We did the same for HBA for many, many, many years. So every monthly meeting was sponsored by Pollo. Your next meeting is sponsored by Pollo.
Yeah.
And that's just one of our way to, if we can help out, we will. Just let us know, somebody in need, right? Sometimes anybody can have bad time. You don't have a job or, it happened a lot in COVID time. People didn't have food or something. So some people reached out, hey, my neighbor is struggling, can you do something?
Right.
Take as much food you want. It's fine. So take the food. I was in my Pollo and Slow passing by the other day. There was a family of 3 on this corner asking, for help.
Yeah.
And they were like, anything help? So I rolled my window and I asked, like, what do you guys want? It was wanting some money for food. I was like, okay, well, I cannot give you money, but I can give you food.
Yeah.
If that's you want, go to the Pollo Loco right behind you, get a family meal, tell them to call me. So they went, they met the GM. It was like, this guy said to come and get free food to call him. So they called me and I was like, yep, give them whatever they want. Eventually they wanted food.
Yeah.
Sometimes people take money and go buy alcohol.
Yeah. I've had a few moments like that where I gave somebody a ride and they asked me for a couple bucks. And
Correct.
I'm like, well, I kind of made it seem like I didn't have any money on me. But I'm like, I'm going to Taco Bell. You want some food?
Yes.
And it's like, no, I don't want food. I'm like,
Yes.
do you want a slushie? Like one of those Baja Blasts? It's like, I'll take a Baja Blast. And then I dropped them off in the same spot. I picked them up because all he wanted was money to go buy alcohol.
Yes.
So like, yeah, you gotta be careful with that, you know?
So I think through Francisco right now, I think we're going to work with Paso PD to have a fundraiser for the PD, the police department for Paso. My GMs have been going to, especially the one in Atascadero, Sonic Frank. He went to every elementary school in Atascadero and gave out free slushy coupons to everybody. It was like, just come and enjoy. It's fine. You don't want to buy anything. You don't have to. The coupons were expiring, and I was like, hand it out to the kids. Yeah. It's hot. You know, let them come and enjoy a good slushy. Yeah. So that's what they did. We work with churches. We have a lot of churches that used to come in for a lot of donations, you know, gift cards. There's a lot of need of gift cards for raffles. I think that's usually a lot of, you know, even high school, elementary churches, every nonprofit, what they do is, you know, have gift cards and do raffles.
Right.
And I said, sure, take gift cards, no problem. So we work with a lot of churches through that. This Sunday, we just gave out, I think it was 100 or 120 pieces of chicken to a nonprofit cancer society. A church came in, I think they asked for it. That they have a nonprofit who's looking to do, you know, raise funds. So if you guys can donate some food for 100 people. Yeah. Okay, sure. Take it. It's fine.
So how do you, because I know you do stuff on your own to kind of take the liability about giving out food and stuff like that. But sometimes are they allowed to use the brand Pollo Loco to say, hey, it's sponsored by? Or is it just more of a verbal thing? Hey, make sure you let them know.
It's up to them.
Okay. Whether or not they plug you or not.
We don't tell them, like the Cancer Society that took food. Yeah. I don't tell them you need to go and tell everybody Pollo Loco gave you food. Right? This is not why we're doing it. If they want to, they can. Yeah. But I think most of the people who are eating their food, they know where that came from. You know?
There's a brand somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. You know? But yeah, some places we do. So like high school have our banners, right? Yeah. So that is promotion and marketing, and we pay, right? So some places where I think we're giving it out, so the scholarship dinner for the donors, right? There's no nonprofit. It was just me doing it to help everybody. But then that's the time I would tell them that, okay, can we put a sign that it was sponsored by us, right? Sometimes what happened is not that we don't want to do it or we have a wrong intention, but sometimes I think people need to know who's doing it. Right. And we are involved. I think we're probably one of the only restaurant, or now Sonic also, who does these things, a lot of these things. And I think sometimes people should know. That we do good. We're not bad people.
No, absolutely. One of the things that I worked at Taco Bell starting at 15 years old, and during that time, it was under the umbrella of Taco Bell, and then it got bought by a bigger corporate. So it became family owned to corporate owned, and you can definitely tell the shift there. So in this area, you would consider yours family owned under the umbrella of Pollo Loco and Sonic.
Yes.
Okay.
Family owned and operated.
Family owned and operated. Now, so knowing the area now, how as well as you do, how many more can you say are like that around here?
I don't know. Go to a football field, see how many banners you see.
That's a good one. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. We do what we do, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what others do.
And I'm not talking about like mom and pops, like restaurants. I'm talking about like, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly.
This episode is brought to you by the White Wave Wellness. Choose to live a healthy and fulfilling life. Wellness is more than being free from illness. It is a process of change and growth towards a mentally and physically healthy lifestyle. Reach out to Jennifer Hale to learn more about how this water can change your life. But I managed a movie theater here in Paso up until this last December, and I quit, and I'm doing this full time, right?
Okay. Oh, cool. We're there.
Yeah.
You saw me last time.
I saw you. I still come and say hi and everything.
Okay.
But one of the things that I almost I never got into, because the natural order of things when it came to working in a movie theater is you work it, you get promoted. Eventually there's a theater that's for sale, or you partner with them to have 50-50. And then, from there, you buy them out or whatever. And I got so close, and it was never happening. So at some point I started thinking to myself, what else do I want to do besides this? And so I started building from 2017. So I still think about those things. Like for me, and I've only told one or two people, and I'll say it out loud, but I'd like to scale this. So me having you here is me kind of learning from you at the same time. I'm like, okay, so it's possible,
Of course.
Yeah.
I can see you have that passion when you're doing this because you love it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it becomes much easier when you're doing something that you like and love. Like when I was driving the truck, I hated it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? I hated it to wake up at midnight, be in bed by 5 o'clock in the evening, right? I hated it, and that's why I only lasted about a year, right? My second would be the job at Wells Fargo. I loved it, but I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do. So when I came to Pollo, and I was like, okay, now you are in what you wanted to do. Put the hard work in.
Yeah.
Now you're not working for anybody else. So any hard work that you're going to put in is for you. So you need to learn, and we need to make this store better, because the goal is not just to have this store. We're going to make many stores out of this store.
Right.
And just keep going on.
Yeah.
So if you love this thing and you want to take it to a larger scale, make it,
Oh yeah. No, right now
statewide, nationwide.
Yeah. Right now I'm in the fine tuning part to where I can just hand it off to somebody else to take over, and then I go build another one.
Yeah.
That's my goal right now. So, and there's always a software issue where it's a hiccup, and I'm like, gosh darn it. So I also talk to the software company that I use. I'm always emailing, messaging them, and I'm like, they promote this stuff for churches and sports to live stream and stuff like that.
Okay.
I use it for podcasting.
Okay.
And their podcasting side is
It's
very,
small.
very small.
Got it.
And I'm like, I would love to grow that for them. And I'm just trying to build that relationship. So if you go on their Instagram and you go who's been tagging them, it's just me.
always you. Okay.
Yeah. But I think we might have to save more for part 2. And I'm excited for... Dude, so real quick, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And we can end it with that.
Keep doing what I'm doing. Just,
Triple locations.
One thing recently that I learned is especially after the pandemic and everything, it's not the quantity, it's the quality.
Yes.
So you can have 30, 40, 50 locations, but how many of them are quality? The goal, my goal from right now is to have quality, even if it's not a bigger quantity. So even if 10 years, if I can have only just 10 restaurants,
Yeah.
from 8 to 10, I want all those 10 to be quality, and I can take care of them and do what I'm doing, and be involved and somehow mentor somebody like a cashier.
Yeah.
Sometimes they come in and they ask me, and to mentor them, keep helping these kids, and so that's what I would be.
Quality over quantity.
10 years, my girls will be high school Bearcat. They're gonna
Yeah.
be in high school, so that would be interesting.
Yeah.
They're super excited for having Sonic. They go and tell their friends, "Come to Sonic,"
They're like free promotion right
Oh
there.
yeah. They always tell their friends, "Can you come and let's go have slushies?"
Yeah.
My daddy has the Sonic. Here's a coupon for you. Let's go.
I'm not gonna lie. My kid, who's 5, when I was working in theater, we'd have private shows all the time because we didn't want to go during. I was working during business hours, so we would go in at 1:00 in the morning. I know it's bad to keep a kid
And
up that
have
late, and we would just have our own little private show because that was the only time that Dad had ability, And I'm happy that I saw you at the theater because I even mentioned like family time,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I get
know.
it, I get it.
Yes.
But yeah, no, thank you so much. Quality over quantity.
Correct.
That's the big thing. And I feel like the next time I have you here, I wouldn't be surprised if you have like more things to say for sure.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Of course. Thanks for having me.